What's going on, guys, and welcome. It's your boy PokePond back again, doing what we do best. We do some price analysis on the Pokemon investing market and the wider TCG. Huge thank you, first of all, to everyone who's been absolutely blowing up my YouTube account. We've been going for only 4 weeks now, and the YouTube channel is absolutely exploding. It means the world to me. Consider subscribing to keep up to date with everything, and please do comment down below. I love reading your guys' comments. But without further ado, let's hop into the internet and let's have a look at some prices. Okay, guys, so the topic for today is that everyone needs to panic. Everyone needs to sell all of their Pokemon sealed card investments because the entire Pokemon market is crashing. There's no more money to be made in Pokemon. Retailers are dumping all of their stock, and that's what people want you to think. Just because retailers are dumping their stock does not mean that the Pokemon investment market is dead. Pokemon is a cyclical market. It runs in cycles, and retailers often just can't keep up with the time frame of the Pokemon cycle bouncing back. Essentially what retailers do is they have to put in a lot of pre-orders at distribution for products to say how many they want, and they have to essentially be seen to be buying a lot of the allocation that's allowed to them. Otherwise, when a huge set comes out like Pokemon 151, they won't be allocated as many numbers, and the distributor will likely prefer other retailers who bought loads of the previous set off of them. So I think what you're seeing now is you're seeing across the board retailers realizing that they've probably over ordered on a lot of Scarlet and Violet stock. It's probably sat in their stock room. It's not moving at the kind of price, even for recommended retail. The profit, or MSRP, the profit margins on those products aren't very big. The profits are razor thin even when they're selling at MSRP. So you're seeing a lot of retailers now that are actually just dumping stock because their product's not moving. They can't afford to wait and have that sat in a stock room for 1 year, 2 year, 5 years to see that appreciation. And that's where private sealed investors like myself, like maybe you guys are already doing it, maybe you're looking at getting into it. This is a tried and tested way of making money. Even the worst sets climb in time if you just keep them sealed for long enough and keep them sat away. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory before we get into things. I had an absolute mountain of Sun and Moon base set booster boxes. I bought them all about 6 years ago, just over 6 years ago, on pre-order. I thought this set's going to be huge. Sun and Moon's a new block. Everyone's going to go crazy for it. We're coming off of the back of the Pokemon Go hype. This is going to get the new generation involved. And do you know what? I sat on those booster boxes and they didn't move for years in price. And people thought I was mad, and people were taking L's even 2 years after. They'd sit on the product sealed for 2 years and then sell it for less than what they bought it for and take an L on it. I held strong and I sold my last ones just the other week, and I tripled my money on every single one because I sat and I held it for 6 years. Yes, that's a longer time frame than I was expected to hold it, but like I've said, Sun and Moon base set is a trash set. I really didn't know what I was thinking at the time. I was just getting back into Pokemon investing. I wasn't really evaluating what was going to be a strong set. I just thought the hobby's doing well. It's in a boom in the cycle phase. Anything is going to go up in price. I mean, I wasn't wrong. I just didn't expect to have to wait for 6 years. Anyway, let's get back onto the subject matter for today. Shops and retailers across the North American and EU regions are seeing how successful Pokemon 151 is at the moment, and they're comparing that to all this other stock that's sat on their shelves. And it's not just Scarlet and Violet, they're also dumping Sword and Shield as well, and there's some fantastic deals to get out in the market at the moment if you're willing to sit on these products for a little while. First one I'm going to look at today, Paldea Evolved. We keep a close eye on this set quite often on the channel each week, just because I think Paldea Evolved is a bit of a sleeper set. Yes, it's not an amazing set, but it's one of the best out of the first three that came out. When you're talking about the Scarlet Violet base set, Paldea Evolved, and Obsidian Flames. I'm a big fan of Obsidian Flames as well, but Paldea Evolved really didn't do well for retailers, and you're seeing the prices all over the place here, and it's just dropped down again this week. We're now down to $96 for a booster box, and that is ludicrously low. I believe that if that's not MSRP, that's below MSRP. So any retailers that are selling for that price, or you can pick that up sealed right now, that is going to do well long term. You're going to have to hold it long term though. It's going to take a couple of years for that to go up in value, I think. But like I said, like with the Sun and Moon base set, if you hold this for 5-6 years, you probably triple your money, even quadruple your money. There's a very good chance of that happening. But maybe you can't afford to buy an entire booster box. Maybe you can't afford to have $100 go out of your personal finances and sit away where you can't touch them for a few years. Elite Trainer boxes doing the same thing. Look at this. UK retailer. So I've got no affiliation with any of these websites, by the way. This is just one of the websites in the UK that I use because it does some quite fair prices and some good deals, and I feel like they can't really sit on stock for too long. So if a set isn't really doing that well or isn't that popular, they just dump it. Look at this, £33.95. You can see that the recommended retail or MSRP on this product when it came out for Paldea Evolved was basically £40. So we're getting it at 32. Oh, sorry. No, recommended retail was £50. So we are getting it 32% below MSRP for a brand new product from an official retailer. That's absolutely insane. This set hasn't even been out that long. Not a bad deal at all if you're willing to sit on this for a while. Like I said, I don't think Paldea Evolved is ever going to be a quick flip if you're looking for fast money or you can't afford to have your money tied up for a while. But if you've got some spare space and some spare change, this isn't a bad deal. Personally though, I'm moving away from stacking Elite Trainer boxes. I bought a lot of them back in the Sword and Shield era, and I regret it because they take up a lot of space and they cost quite a lot to ship as well, because they're quite heavy, quite bulky, that kind of thing. I'm more now about the booster boxes, but if you can't afford to buy a booster box, this is the next best thing really. They are still desired by collectors across the EU and NA region. Let's look at something a little bit older then. I was absolutely shocked when I saw the price of this. Silver Tempest booster boxes. I did a video on this last week saying that this is an excellent time to buy Silver Tempest because it's the cheapest it's going to be for a long time, and this is an absolutely crazy sale price for a set that's really strong. It's got the Chase Lugia card and it's been out for over a year now. You can see release date was November 11th 2022. Really solid set. I don't think it's going to get many more reprints. We're getting to the end of that reprint cycle for it now as the Pokemon trading company start to sunset the Sword and Shield sets and focus more on the Scarlet and Violet sets, especially with 151 doing so well at the moment. They're just going to be pumping resources into reprinting 151. Let's be honest, it's their cash cow at the moment. But yeah, so I said last week, $120, $125. This is an absolute steal price, brilliant investment. I can see it bouncing back to these regions fairly quickly, the 145, 146. And I said, it may drop down one plateau. I said this last week, it may drop down one plateau. And if you buy here and you buy here, then whatever, you average somewhere in the middle, you're still getting a fantastic deal on both. You're averaging around 122. It's dropped again this week, $119 for a Silver Tempest brand new sealed booster box. Absolutely insane. I'm picking up a load of these for myself, for my collection. Again, Elite Trainer boxes. Shocked at this price. This isn't from a reseller on eBay. This is an official retailer selling brand new case fresh stock. Silver Tempest Elite Trainer boxes. Absolutely insane price. $31.95. The recommended retail on these was, or MSRP if you're in the US, was $42.50. So we're getting 25% discount on what was already just the MSRP or recommended retail price. Absolutely insane to get that kind of price this late on in a set that's been out for a little while. A strong set as well. Let's have a look at some other things. Everyone knows about Chilling Pain. Chilling Rain. Everyone's got this hype behind it, that it's a really sleeper set. It's got some amazing alt arts. That's why you're seeing a lot of the booster boxes were going for a fairly decent price. But look at these Elite Trainer boxes, brand new, case fresh from official retailers, $33.95, 20% below MSRP for a brand new one. You don't even have to deal with eBay. You don't have to deal with the fact that someone's kept this in their wardrobe. Maybe they haven't kept it perfect. Maybe you're going to get it delivered. Maybe there's going to be a tear in the seal. This is from a proper retailer. You can just return it if it's not case fresh. Absolutely insane, crazy bargains. Really happy with these. I think these are an absolute buy. Here's it on TCG Player, so we'll compare the UK and American prices right here. So we're paying $33.95 from an official retailer, and you can see NA is lagging a little bit behind, but you can see the price is just dropping on the NA markets. We're down to $47.90. You're still paying too much at $47.90 if us in EU are only paying $33.95. $33.95 is like probably like $40, maybe like a little bit less than $40, and you guys are still paying nearly $50. So there's definitely bargains out there to get. I definitely think that these Elite Trainer boxes are going to drop even more, which is insane because I still think that that's a really good deal. But I would personally look at picking up the booster boxes as well. Crazy deals going on because I feel like everyone's just funneling resources into Pokemon 151 at the moment. No one's buying any of this old stock, and it's just absolutely insane. I can't believe some of these prices on some of these items. Let's talk about new sets then. Paradox Rift hasn't even come out yet. We're getting deals of 35% below MSRP on a pre-order for a set that hasn't even come out yet. This is actually an insane deal. I'm not going to do it because I don't think Paradox Rift is a good set. I've had a look at the set list. We can have a look at it again in a minute. I think this is more like a player's set. I think it's more aimed at the Pokemon TCG. So there's a lot of cards in here that break up the actual like meta of the decks that are being played at the moment. But I actually think the artwork on the set list, not a huge fan of this set, but I just think that it's absolutely insane that retailers just have no faith in this, and they're already trying to dump it probably for a loss before it's even come in the door. Absolutely insane. If you can see deals like this on these kind of products, it might be a play you want to make. Personally, it's not a play I'm going to make, but it's very interesting to see and analyze. I'll always analyze when I see crazy deals, even if I'm not making a play on it myself, just because you may decide that it's something that you want to pick up. That's great. I feel like with this channel, the best thing to do is not to copy what I do, because I take L's sometimes as well. I get it wrong. The best thing to do is just use the information that I provide to form your own opinions and do your own research as well. But it's interesting for us to just sit down and talk about this stuff. It looks to me like Paradox Rift is going to be an absolute flop set. The fact that it's just selling at 35.3% below MSRP on a pre-order, and that, by the way, is just if you buy one. If you buy like 12 plus, you get it even cheaper. You start saving even more. That's another £3 off per box. Absolutely insane. Look at this. This is it on the case. So you can order a case from these guys of Paradox Rift. It's not even out yet. It's the next Scarlet and Violet set. 6 booster boxes, case fresh. 36% below MSRP. What is going on? Retailers are committing serious crimes against their own bank balances by doing this. It might be a play. If you want to sit on this set for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I think it will do very well for you. But me personally, I'm not buying into this set. I'm putting my money elsewhere. Like I've said in my last video, it's worth checking out if you haven't seen my last video, by the way. I talk about all the plays that I'm making at the moment. I'm mainly putting my money into the sunsetting Sword and Shield sets at the moment. I don't like putting too much money into new sets just because I feel like I like to see how the market reacts to them first, and I also like them to sit for about a year on shelves, because if it's not a good set, the price will drop even more, and if it is a good set, if it's only a year old, it's probably going to get reprinted, and it's probably not that much higher than MSRP, and I don't mind paying that little bit more 1 year after release for a good set, because I then have that information. I've already seen how the market reacts to it. I know it's a safe bet to put my money in. But hey, if you're a bit more risky with your investments, you're happy with a bit more risk, go for a bit more reward. This could be a good play for you. Here we have a pre-order on the UK eBay, which is even cheaper for a case, $5.50 for a case. I think that works out at something about £90 a booster box, something like that. That's quick maths for you. That's probably about $100, maybe just under $100 for a booster box on a set that's probably MSRP what, 150, 155 or something MSRP. Absolutely insane. You're almost getting a third off before it even releases. But we're going to keep an eye on this every week. We're going to start looking back and keep an eye on this price, see if there's any more announcements around the old Paradox Rift. Elite Trainer boxes as well, exact same story. They're dumping them before they even come in the door on the pre-order. $37.95, meant to MSRP for $50 here in the UK. 25% off already before they even come in. Same with the other one. Absolutely ridiculous. Here's the set list for it. I don't think it looks that amazing, to be honest. A lot of these are the Japanese cards. The reason why is because not all of the English art previews have been released yet, but we can basically tell what the set is going to look like from the Japanese sets, because it's 2 Japanese sets combined. Some of the cards are in English because they've unveiled some of them. Iron Moth, that's going to be one of the big player cards in the TCG. It's a cool concept for the set. You know, you've got future Pokemon and you've got ancient Pokemon, and they're going to be battling it out and having different abilities. I think it's a cool idea and a cool concept. I just think the artwork just misses a little bit for me. There are some cool secret rares that aren't shown here. You get secret rares of these two, which are really nice. I did show them in a previous video. It's okay. It's a very average set in my opinion though, especially like art wise, and I'm definitely like a big art collector. That's important to me, but I do think it's a bit more of a player set. So yeah, to summarize, there are a lot of crazy deals going on at the moment across all of the NA and the EU region. If you're willing to just cast your eyes away from the giant tsunami, which is Pokemon 151 at the moment. Pokemon 151 is doing fantastically. It's gone down really well in the community. You're having more reprints hitting stores this week. You're probably seeing waves about half the size of what they were on release. However, you will see more coming over the next couple of months. There will be a few more waves, almost guaranteed. So if you haven't picked up the products that you want to, make sure you do not FOMO in too hard or pay too much money, because there will be more stock coming. Try and get pre-orders in if you can get pre-orders anywhere for anything in particular that you want to get. Let's talk about Pokemon 151 Booster Bundle again. I've talked about this in previous videos. I made a whole video on why you shouldn't buy this if you're in the North American region, just because prices went absolutely insane. You could see this here. This is when I made the video. They went up to $50, which is absolutely insane. For some reason, the North American region had some serious distribution problems, and these were basically just non-existent in North America. In the EU, we were fine. They were selling for MSRP here in the EU for £25 each, which is less than $30. So yeah, the price is still a little bit out of control. You can see on TCG Player here, they are selling for $40. That is way too much. You're better off just buying an Elite Trainer box at that price. Just spend an extra $10. Get an Elite Trainer box, get some promos, get some sleeves, get some dice, and get 3 extra packs for the extra $10. Ultra Premium Collection launched as well. This has gone down really well in the community as well. This is actually an awesome looking product. I might actually pick one up to hold long term. I don't normally invest into Ultra Premium Collections because they take up a lot of space and they're quite a pain to ship. I would hate for myself to sit on an Ultra Premium Collection for 5 years, keep it absolutely mint, and then try and ship it and it gets damaged in shipping just because it's such a big product. You would have to put it in like an even bigger box and like really wrap it up well, because that would be very disappointing for whoever opened it up and for yourself if you've got to do an eBay return or a TCG return or something like that. So I usually don't buy into these. I will warn people, if you're going to buy these 151 Ultra Premium Collections, they are even larger than the Charizard and Pikachu Premium Collections. They're even bigger in size, I mean. So just be aware of that. They are an absolute monster. But I think they're a cool display piece if you're going to display it or collect it, or even just sit on it. If you're going to sit on it for a few years, I think it will do well. You get a lot of packs inside there. And as always, I like to, every week, keep a little eye on what's going on with Pokemon 151, because it is a fantastic set. It's definitely the best set so far in the Sword and Shield block, but I am very hopeful that Scarlet Violet block. I'm very hopeful that the Scarlet Violet block will have some bangers more towards the end of the block. A lot of the blocks started off this way as well. I remember back in Sword and Shield, and even before that in Sun and Moon, when I was collecting back then, the first few sets are always pretty much duds. I mean, let's look back to Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze. Even though I like Darkness Ablaze and I'm holding quite a lot of it, I will knock it. It is a bit of a rubbish set. But it's got my boy Charizard, so what can you say? Again, Sun and Moon was the exact same thing. First few sets were duds, and then towards the end of the block you started getting the really, really heavy hitter sets. So the fact that 151 came out and it's a really good set is fantastic, but yeah, me personally, I'm not too hopeful about the next set, Paradox Rift. The fact that retailers aren't showing any faith in it either. But if you want to make a play on it, you can get some crazy deals on it at the moment. Do your research, as always. I've been PokePond. Massive thank you to all the new subscribers on the channel. I'm absolutely blown away. It's been, what, 4 weeks since I started the channel, and it has absolutely exploded. Love reading all of your guys' comments. Comment down below. It's a highlight of my day, reading and responding to your comments. Love to hear what you think is good to invest in at the moment. Are you enjoying perhaps cracking packs of 151? What do you think is going to happen with Paradox Rift? What are you buying now? I would love to know. Let's start that discussion down below in the comments section. As always, guys, I've had a blast making this. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.